when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were scared of getting old and made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears. Nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swear you moved overseas. That's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie, you still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old and made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song. When we were young, when we were young, when we were young, when we were young. It's hard to admit that everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And a part of me keeps holding on just in case it hasn't gone, 'cause I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie, it was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old and made us restless. Oh, I'm so mad I'm getting old, that makes me reckless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song when we were young. Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're here alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me just like a movie. It was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears. Nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swear you moved overseas. That's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie. You still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. When we were young, when we were young, when we were young, when we were young. It's hard to admit that everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And a part of me keeps holding on just in case it hasn't gone. 'Cause I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. They made us restless. Oh, I'm so mad I'm getting old. It makes me reckless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song when we were young. Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're here alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie. You sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears. Nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swear you moved overseas. That's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie. You still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. When we were young, when we were young, when we were young, when we were young. It's hard to admit that everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And a part of me keeps holding on just in case it hasn't gone. 'Cause I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. They made us restless. Oh, I'm so mad I'm getting old. It makes me reckless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song when we were young. Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're here alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie. You sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears. Nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swear you moved overseas. That's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie. You still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me just like a movie. It was just like a song. When we react, when we react, when we react, when we react. It's hard to admit that everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And the part of me keeps holding on just in case it hasn't gone. 'Cause I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please rise for the procession of our special guests, faculty, and the graduating class of 2025. I also ask that you remain standing after the processional for the playing of both the Canadian and Swiss national anthems. Please be seated. Welcome to our honored guests, parents, family members, pensions, live stream viewers, faculty, staff, and most importantly, students from the class of 2025 as we celebrate the 69th graduation ceremony of Neuchâtel Junior College. Bonjour et bienvenue aux invités d'honneur, aux membres de la famille, aux enseignants, au personnel et spécialement aux étudiants à l'occasion de la 69e cérémonie de remise de diplôme de Neuchâtel Junior College. As the Deputy Head of School and Director of University Guidance at Neuchâtel Junior College, it is my honor to be the Mistress of Ceremonies this afternoon. Comme sous-directrice de l'école et directrice de conseil de l'université, j'ai l'honneur d'être la maîtresse de cérémonie cet après-midi. Je voudrais prendre un moment pour remercier toutes nos familles de pension. Au cours de mes dernières discussions de l'année avec les étudiants, je leur ai demandé quel serait le choix qui leur manquerait le plus de leur séjour à Neuchâtel. La réponse était presque toujours la même, leur famille de pension. À vous, nos chères familles de pension, vous avez traité nos étudiants comme de véritables membres de la famille, et pour cela, nous vous remercierons infiniment. To the graduating class, I could not be prouder of you. "93% of our OSSD recipients were also Ontario scholars. That means that they were able to achieve an average of 80% or more in 6 of their grade 12 courses. 48 of the students earned an NJC International Diploma. This diploma sets them apart as worldly students who have achieved academic success, challenged themselves in a new environment, discovered new cultures, integrated into their pension families, and developed transferable skills that will help them succeed in the future. In my role, I had the pleasure of seeing students' bright smiles and congratulating them when they gave me the news of their university offers. Our graduates can proudly say that they will be attending some of the best universities in their respective regions. Most of the graduates this year will be returning to Canada to study next year, with many of them going into programs that are quite the change from what they insisted they wanted to study at this time last year. But that is all part of the transformational growth that they experienced this year. Graduates, you came here as a group of leaders, and we saw that from the multitude of applications for this year's grant. And yet, you still grew. From the beginning of the year, when you were unsure about the public transportation system, to this semester taking advantage of the SBB Youth Pass to go shopping or hiking around the country in your spare time. From being anxious test takers to calming down with stretching and breathing before final exams this semester. Or from sneaking out after curfew and getting fined, to being smarter about sneaking out after curfew. One staff member remarked on the odd groupings of students that they would see together from time to time. But for me, this fluidity with which each of you moved between groups to groups was very admirable. It speaks to your kindness to one another, your camaraderie, and to something that will keep you as a group well into your futures. What will stick out to me about this graduating class is your strength. On a Friday the 13th, 5 years ago, the world shut down, and I wondered what effect that would have on the children at that time. This Friday the 13th, I see how you've grown despite that adversity. Social distancing is a thing of the past, and we now need to literally carry you, Kai, away from each other. The strength of this graduating class has given me faith for my own children. Graduates, you are now part of a special community that will support you through the rest of your education and your careers. Neuchâtel Junior College alumni. Some of the family members sitting here today might be a part of that prestigious group. One person belonging to that group is our first guest speaker, the Présidente du Conseil de Fondation, our Swiss board, Bryn McCrossan-Maire. Bryn is an NJC alumna from the class of 1992 and will now welcome the class of 2025.
Chers directeurs, chers membres du personnel, chers parents, chères familles d'accueil, and especially dear class of 2025, you made it. C'est avec grand plaisir qu'au nom du Conseil de Fondation et en tant qu'ancien élève du Junior Collège, que j'aimerais féliciter chacun de vous d'avoir réussi ce jalon important. NJC isn't just about grades. It's about the people, the memories, the growth we all experience. Some of our biggest lessons didn't come from textbooks. They came from friendships, from new challenges, from the extraordinary immersive education NJC offers. An education that ignites a lifelong sense of adventure, courage, and purpose. You've learned so much more than math and essays. You've learned to listen in more than one language. And that's not just about words. It's about empathy, nuance, and understanding people unlike yourself. NJC understands that learning happens anywhere and everywhere. Un petit message pour nos familles d'accueil et un clin d'œil pour mes beaux-parents qui ont été ma famille d'accueil pendant mon année à NJC. Un immense merci pour tout ce que vous faites pour nos élèves. Vous ouvrez vos portes et votre cœur. Vous leur faites découvrir non seulement les traditions suisses, mais aussi de votre propre famille. Vivre en pension, c'est ce qui distingue NJC des autres écoles privées. C'est une composante essentielle de l'éducation immersive qu'offre l'école. Just like at the end of my year here at NJC, which, yes, was quite a few years ago, I'm sure some of you feel like it was just yesterday that you arrived in Switzerland for the orientation trip. You were a bit unsure of what the year was going to be like. You were making new friends with whom you would create so many fond memories throughout the year. You were ready to discover new countries, along with their unusual traditions, in the heart of Europe where so much history unfolded, and getting a better understanding of what we'd only read in textbooks before. At first, I didn't actually want to come to NJC, but I felt I had to, since my sister had come 2 years before me. But looking back, it was one of the best decisions of my life. It profoundly changed everything. In fact, I've never actually left Switzerland since my year at NJC. The NJC Diploma allowed me to attend the University of Neuchâtel without an entrance exam, where I studied in French and completed a master's in business administration. Today, several years later, I'm a senior finance director for a pharmaceutical company here in Switzerland. After finishing university, I married my pension son, and we now have 2 children who are aged 24 and 18. Although when the school said immersive education, I'm not sure they were referring to dating your pension son. I'm sure just like for me, your year here at NJC was truly transformational. Maybe not quite. Helping you step outside your comfort zone and discover a new sense of independence through international education and experiential learning. Votre courage, votre engagement et votre dévouement à vos études vous ont mené à cette cérémonie de clôture. Et maintenant, ils vous ouvriront les portes d'un avenir rempli de possibilités différentes. Vous quittez NJC pour commencer une nouvelle étape de votre vie. Souvenez-vous que chaque expérience sert de tremplin vers quelque chose de plus grand. It's totally normal for both graduates and parents to feel a mix of happiness, sadness, and maybe even fear right now as you enter adulthood and prepare for next steps in life. I encourage you to take all that energy and find what really matters to you. Find your purpose. Go out in the world and make a difference. You may not know where exactly you are going to go in life, but we know you're ready. You've grown up in a world that changes fast and often, and yet here you are, resilient, curious, and ready. The world is waiting for your ideas, your voices, your courage. So don't just chase success, build meaningful lives. Be kind, be bold, and always be curious. Mais pour l'heure, les vacances sont enfin arrivées. J'espère qu'elles vous seront profitables et ressourçantes pour pouvoir entamer la prochaine étape de votre vie sereinement et avec enthousiasme. Whether you graduated from NJC in 1992 like I did, or today in 2025, our shared experiences allow us to connect easily across grad years. I hope you had a remarkable experience, and I warmly welcome you to the alumni family, which is now approaching its 70th anniversary. It's one of the best ones to be part of. We're not just saying goodbye today, as this is not the end of your NJC story. It's the beginning of your next chapter. Stay connected and go out and conquer the world. I wish you all continued success. Congratulations. Class of 25.
Thank you, Bryn. I would now like to call upon Kelley McKinnon, the chair of the NJC's Canadian Advisory Committee, CAC. Kelley is a parent of Megan Burton, class of 2018, and Matthew Burton, class of 2019, and she will be offering greetings on behalf of the CAC and introducing this year's guest speaker.
Thank you, Vanessa. I've followed Bryn before, and nothing tops her story about never leaving Neuchâtel because she married her pension brother. Bonjour tout le monde, à nos étudiants, félicitations, and welcome everyone else who's joining us today. My role today is to say thank you. Aujourd'hui, ma rôle, c'est à dire merci à tous. First, dear pension families, premièrement, nos familles accueillent. Vous donnez à nous, à nos étudiants, la sécurité et confort de votre maison, mais plus important que ça, vous donnez vos cœurs. Vous êtes si importants. On ne peut pas faire l'éducation incroyable et l'expérience incroyable sans vous. De nos cœurs, merci beaucoup. Students and parents, for you, I thank you with a common theme. Like every organization, we have core values. If you go on our website, you can see them all listed. I've always felt that two are key, and that they're the ones that brought you here, and the ones that will keep you exploring and thriving in your futures. These core values to me are curiosity and courage. Curiosité et le courage. Think back a year. It took curiosity and courage for you to leave your safe homes and families, the friends you knew, the activities you were involved in. And yet, you did it, and you came for what was a very big adventure. And you should congratulate yourselves on the courage and curiosity it took for you to come. Equally for parents, as a former parent, thank you for trusting us. Neuchâtel Junior College today, I think, is even more relevant than when it was founded in 1956 during the Cold War by our founder, who wanted to give an opportunity to Canadian youth to see a bit of the world, but mostly to learn about themselves, to develop some confidence, and to prepare themselves for the next stage of university. It took curiosity and courage for you to send us your sons and daughters. I'll tell you a very quick story, because your journey, parents, of curiosity and courage is not over. When my son returned from his year at Neuchâtel, he was still only 17 years old, and after his year here, I was engaged in a horrific act of overparenting. I was military helicopter overparenting. And he looked at me and he said, "Mom." You know the tone, right? Some of you have heard it, "Mom." You forget. I lived in Europe for a year by myself. It was the by myself that struck me. Like, what about Andrew, your teachers, your friends, your pension family? I lived in Europe for a year by myself, Mom. And he looked at me, he paused, and he smiled, and he said, Mom, I got this. And it was true. It was true. And for a moment, my mother's heart said, oh, he doesn't need me anymore. But then I smiled and realized that was the whole point. He was launching with an added sense of confidence and view of the world that he was able to make his way. By myself, I still laugh. Last, finalement, pour merci, this school thrives only because of extraordinarily dedicated and caring 24/7 in 2 time zone leaders. Andrew, Vanessa, teachers, Swiss staff, and our Toronto office who are watching at 7 in the morning. Thank you. J'espère que vous avez un grand café. Thank you so much. It is so clear to me, having been on the board of Neuchâtel since 2019 and the chair for 2 years, that you care deeply about the success of each and every student, and we couldn't do it without you. Now, I move to my very special privilege of introducing our guest speaker, Jim Leech. I'm going to take a minute. I do encourage you, if you don't know Jim by reputation, Google the guy. His career is extraordinary, and Wikipedia lists 25 awards and recognitions, including the Order of Canada. We are very lucky to have him because he is an esteemed Canadian in the business world, in the philanthropic world, and as a mentor and leader in education. Jim was born and educated in Western Canada into a military family. He is a proud math and science graduate of Royal Military College in Kingston. He had an extraordinarily successful early career in the military, including being a captain at a shockingly young age of, I think it was something like 22. But Jim exhibited, at that time in his life, in my view, curiosity and courage. He left his military career to go to Queen's for a Master's of Business Administration. And he went on to have a career in business and finance. He led some early tech companies, and you may know him as the former CEO of the Ontario Teachers' Pension Plan. Teachers who still have the Ontario Pension Plan here, give him a little pat of thanks as he leaves today. He did very well for you. But what I want to focus on as a third value is Jim's generosity. His generosity of spirit, his generosity to youth and education. I think there are few people who have given so much in time and energy in leadership. And I'm going to give you just a couple of examples. In 2014, Jim trained for and skied to the North Pole. And it was a trip organized to raise awareness and funds for Canadian veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. 53 people skied with packs to the North Pole. He was at the time, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Jim, 67 years old. And I don't think he was that much of a skier before he started training. And maybe you were. Were you? I don't know. It's a better story if I say you weren't. I can't even imagine the effort it took to do that. And I've seen a picture of Jim. He grew a big bushy beard to protect his face from frostbite, and I've seen a picture of him with actual icicles hanging from his beard and his eyebrows. In addition to that, many of you know that he was the Queen's Chancellor for 2 full terms, and he continues as Chancellor Emeritus. What you may not know is that he was uniquely the students' Chancellor. Many chancellors show up for board meetings, they come for the many convocations, they serve their ceremonial duties, but Jim engaged actively with students. He engaged in and learned new social media because he wanted to communicate with them in the places where they were. And he was a hands-on mentor and friend to students from all walks of life on their university journey. He has been an advisor to prime ministers, ministers of finance. He's been chair of major boards and international foundations dedicated to education. His generosity is so high level, so next level. I think that, to me, characterizes one of his greatest contributions. So with that, having benefited from Jim's generosity, he's been a mentor to me for 30 years. I'm delighted to call you.
Took my speech. Wow. Membre des conseils d'administration de Neuchâtel, directeur de l'école Keleher, les professeurs, les parents et familles d'accueil, familles et proches de nos étudiants, et bien sûr les diplômés de 2025. Good afternoon, bonjour à tous et à toutes. Kelley, merci pour cette aimable présentation, mais vous avez cependant omis la partie la plus importante de ma biographie, c'est que je suis le grand-père de Travis et Sydney Cumming, ainsi de 5 d'autres. I thought that I would start by talking about the world when I was in your seat and graduating from high school, and that was back in 1964. That's 61 years ago. There was a lot going on in Canada and throughout the world at that time. So I picked 3 positives and 3 negatives to highlight. On the positive side, first one is that the United States had enacted the Civil Rights Act that outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. And South Africa had been banned from the Olympics because of its oppressive apartheid policy. Both signaled the beginning of a long journey towards equality and respect for all, but one that is far from complete. Sadly, we've regressed in the past year or so. Until all people feel safe and their rights are respected, we must continue to keep up that fight. The second positive, though, was in that year Canada adopted a new and now iconic flag. At the beginning, there were detractors, but today it represents the symbol of our Canadian sovereignty and proudly worn on our backpacks as we travel around Europe. Third one that I thought was a major highlight was that the Beatles stormed America. For the first time, Europe and America shared a common cultural bound. On the negative side, 3 things. First of all, there were 2 wars raging, one in Vietnam and one in Cyprus. Unfortunately, the world hasn't moved on far from that. In Canada, Quebec separatism was gaining traction with the Front de Libération de Québec actively engaged in violent acts to promote independence. Today, Quebec separatism has abated, but there are politicians who are trying to rile up Western Canadians, and we must take that seriously. Third, China conducted nuclear weapons tests, making it the 5th country to possess nuclear arms. Even though these countries eventually signed a non-proliferation agreement, the number of nuclear-armed companies has doubled in the meantime and may hit 11 within the next few months. Also for fun, I looked up the inventions that were introduced in 1964. The first one was the colored television. Can you imagine? Second one was picture phones, which of course became the precursor to video conferencing and Zoom and etc. The third, and I know Travis will like this, the Ford Mustang car was introduced at a sales price of $2,400. And then everyone's favorite, Pop-Tarts were invented in 1964. And incidentally, the fashion rave of the year was bell-bottom pants. Oh. So, irrespective of our taste in fashion in those days, on the surface, our 2 worlds, 61 years apart, may not seem all that different until you factor in that our economic system, coupled with social justice, have lifted millions around the world out of poverty over that period. In fact, world capita income rose from $600 per person per annum in those days to now over $14,000. In fact, I would argue that with the exception of my generation's abysmal record on climate change, the world is today a better place than it was then. Not free of challenges and risks, but is still better. So, going back to the good old days of discrimination, inequality, and poverty, as espoused by Donald Trump and his MAGA believers, is not the answer to today's challenges. Instead, we, and by that I mean you, must continue to move forward. But fortunately, your generation is equipped to provide the breakthroughs, and the 50 of you graduating today are actually uniquely qualified to lead that charge. Why your generation? Because you're the most tech-savvy generation in history. You've lived with it your entire life. You know how to disrupt the status quo with technology that will lead to innovations in healthcare, income disparity, education, poverty alleviation, energy, world peace, and for all of our sakes, I hope, climate. And the pace of that innovation is accelerating every day. And why specifically the 50 of you? Because you can now bring to the table that very special perspective gained over the past year. You have learned at an early age first to survive and then to thrive in a different country, a different language, and a different culture without the in-person support of your family. Through your travels across Europe, you've learned respect and even admiration for the way others approach life and its challenges. Your horizons have been broadened and your eyes opened. I believe in the theory that you are what you were. Simply put, that means that each of us is an aggregate of our life experiences, and those experiences influence our behavior or reaction to events going forward. In fact, by knowing a person's lived experience, one can get a sense of how they would approach a problem or react in various scenarios. Over these past 9 months, you have stepped out, adding so much to your life experiences. You've seen a different part of the world and its history, opportunities that few of your peers would have experienced. You were immersed in multiple cultures, appreciating different ways of approaching things. Throughout your travels, you got to enjoy the best of the cultures and to appreciate their differences. And there are things that you witnessed that will remain seared in your mind forever. Like, it's one thing to study anti-Semitism and references to the Holocaust from a textbook. It's something else to actually visit Auschwitz-Birkenau and Dachau. And I'm sure you asked yourself, how could anyone have let this happen? Or witnessing the World War I and II memorial sites in France and Belgium, where so many Canadians lost their lives to defend your freedom. It gives you a whole new perspective on the realities of war, lest we forget. These experiences will shape your life going forward. I say that based on not dissimilar personal experience. When I was just 3 years older than you, I spent several years in Germany on the front lines of the Cold War as a NATO Army officer, about 200 kilometers north of here. And during that time, I worked entirely in French. And I traveled all over the continent, except the countries under Soviet umbrella, such as Poland, Czechoslovakia, and East Germany. And like you, I skied all over Austria and Switzerland. Those experiences helped to shape how I view the world as a business and community leader, and still do. You too will find yourself revisiting these past 9 months over and over again. Now, when you return to Canada, you will find our country in the midst of change and a surge of patriotism. The world order and security and trading patterns that we have known for decades have been upended. Our closest ally and friend has deserted us, and the rest of the world, it seems. The way forward will take a new approach and new thinking. Soon you will assume leadership roles in this new world, and I guarantee that your experiences from the past 9 months will help you and your colleagues grapple with the issues of this new world. So as you disperse to universities, colleges, trade schools, work, or further travels, know that you carry with you the hopes and pride of all who have supported you on this journey. Soyez reconnaissants envers vos familles, en particulier vos familles d'accueil, pour l'expérience qu'elles vous ont offerte, ainsi qu'envers le corps enseignant et le personnel de Neuchâtel qui ont été là pour vous cette année. The world awaits your passion and your unique perspectives. You have learned to step outside and embrace that future with confidence. Make stepping out a continuing part of your life. Et comme le dit notre Premier ministre, joie de cœur. Elbows up. Merci et bonne chance à l'avenir.
Jim, thank you so much for that insightful message and for the task that you've given our students. Please accept this small token of appreciation for helping us celebrate the class of 2025. At this time, I would like to present our first very talented musical interlude, the incredibly talented Bodie Johnson, who will be performing his very own composition entitled Spaces in Between. Thank you so much, Bodie. That now brings us to the reason we are all here today, the presentation of the Ontario Secondary School Diplomas for the graduating class. Depending on their status, the graduates will receive an envelope containing their diploma, their Ontario Scholar Certificate, their NJC International Diploma, and a French Immersion Certificate if they've completed at least 10 high school credits where they were instructed in French. Our staff marshals will now begin organizing our first group of graduates, and graduates will be called in alphabetical order. As each graduate is called forward, I will read out the graduate's name and their intended destination next fall. As they cross the stage to accept their diploma, they will shake hands with Mr. Keleher and Mr. Leech and pose for a photograph. Mr. Keleher and Mr. Leech, please join us now for the presentations. Okay. Nicole Artemieva, King's College London, Philosophy, Politics, Economics. Louis Marlowe Ashby, Concordia University Film Production. Violet Barado Bristow, Wilfrid Laurier University, Physics and Computer Science. Ava Bonaldo, Carleton University, Journalism, Film, and Cinema Studies. Kate Brady, Dalhousie University, Arts. Nadia Chisana, Boston College, Biology. Marianne Shane, Lethbridge Polytechnic, Nursing. Madeline Cook Little, Royal Colleges of Surgeons in Ireland, Medicine. Travis Cumming, Queen's University, Commerce.
I wasn't standing up straight.
Max Dalla Lana, Vanderbilt University, Economics. Masha DeMeo, University of Guelph, Biomedical Sciences. Julia Dempster, McGill University, Political Science. Taylor Denton, Western University, Social Sciences. Eve Dimitriou, McMaster University, Chemical and Physical Sciences. Taylor Feather, University of Toronto, Rotman Commerce. Alan Gundy, Dalhousie University, Arts. Benjamin Gerd, University of British Columbia, Sciences. Kaesla Hill, Western University, Arts. Kai Romick, Chapman University, Creative Producing. Bodie Johnson, Hawaii Artist in Residence. Méhanne Jolicoeur, Concordia University, Mechanical Engineering. Bryn Cole, University of Waterloo, Science and Aviation. Holden Cotman, University of Guelph, Animal Biology. Juliette Laforest, Royal Military College, Arts. Isabella Laverty, the Institute of Contemporary Music Performance, Songwriting, and Artist Development. Carl Lendby, Ontario Tech University, Mechanical Engineering. Hani Lowith, Dalhousie University, Commerce. Andrew Logish, Western University, Mathematics. Maggie McCullum, Queen's University, Commerce. Lily Miller, Bishop's University, Marketing. Ryan Mitchell, Del Mar College, Cosmetology. Lily Moffat, Dalhousie University, Arts. Emma Morgado, University of Toronto, International Relations. Maeve Murphy, Huron University at Western, Social Sciences, Ivy. Lauren Odorico, Queen's University, Psychology. Victoria Payne, University of British Columbia, Physics. Miranda Rigney, University of King's College at Dalhousie, Foundation Year Program. Jill Robinson, Queen's University, Engineering. Spencer Scott, Dalhousie University, Community Design. James Simi, University of Sydney, Engineering. Mateo Spears, University of Toronto, Rotman Commerce. Ella Steenberg, McGill University, Psychology. Katya Static, Queen's University, Commerce. Samantha Thorburn, Queen's University, Nursing. Hazel Tingley, Dalhousie University, Commerce. Jordan Vetro, University of Alberta, Earth Sciences. Joshua Udeval, Wilfrid Laurier University, Business Administration. Benjamin Young, Wilfrid Laurier University, Business Administration. finally, Celeste Sabal, Dalhousie University, Sciences. Thank you very much, Mr. Keleher and Mr. Leech. To all of the new graduates of Neuchâtel Junior College, as a symbol of your commencement, you may now move the tassel to the opposite side of your cap. At this time, we have the pleasure of another musical interlude performed by Juliet Dempster. She will be performing The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston, accompanied by Méhanne Jolicoeur on the piano.
This is the greatest love of all.
I believe the children are future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them that sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's looking for a future. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is happening to me. Yes, learning to love yourself, that is the greatest love of all. I believe the children are future. Let them in and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. And give them that sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk Yes, learning to love yourself. That is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, find your strength in
Thank you very much, Julia and Méhanne. Okay, we will now recognize the recipients of our academic prizes. These prizes are awarded to one student in each class who has demonstrated academic excellence and dedication to their subject. This year's recipients will receive a gift card that they can use to purchase a book recommended by their nominating faculty member. To begin, please welcome our first presenter, Ms. Patricia Klebe, who will present the academic prizes for the humanities. Our first academic prize is for philosophy. This year's winner is Benjamin Young. The academic prize for world history goes to Victoria Payne. The award for politics goes to Nicole Artemyeva. The winner of the academic prize for the writer's craft is Jordana Singer. Jordana is back in Canada already, but is hopefully watching via live stream. Our prize for classical civilization goes to Emma Morgado. On behalf of both Ms. Klebe and Mr. Esquivel, the academic prize for English goes to Nadia Chisana. Thank you very much, Ms. Klebe. Our next presenter is Ms. Kahina Kordash. Ms. Kordash will present our academic awards in mathematics and biology. The winner for the academic prize for advanced functions is Annika Huang. Annika was one of our first semester students and is again not with us today. The academic prize for biology goes to Masha DeMayo. The recipient of the prize for calculus and vectors is Jill Robinson. Our next presenter is Mr. Dan Lamoth, who will present the remaining Mathematics and Science Awards. The award for data management goes to Benjamin Gerd. The recipient of the academic prize for physics is Jill Robinson. The academic prize for chemistry also goes to Jill Robinson. Thank you. I now call on Mr. John Marchioni to present the awards for his subject. The recipient of the academic prize in international business this year is Taylor Denton. The winner of the prize for world issues is Benjamin Young. The student selected for the prize in law is Juliette LaForest. The recipient of the award for economics is also Juliette LaForest. The prize for drama this year goes to Julia Dempster. We are missing Julia. The prize for business leadership this year also goes to Julia Dempster. Thank you, Mr. Marchioni. Now, Mr. Karel Krejci will present the prizes for his subjects, as well as the prize for visual arts on behalf of Madame Christine Weibel. The academic prize for French Extended goes to Ellie Gundy. The academic prize for French immersion goes to Masha DeMeo. And the winner of the award for French Corps, following in his sister's footsteps, is Travis Cumming. The prize for French Communication and Culture goes to Max Dallalana. The academic prize for Communications Technology is presented to Mateo Spears. And the prize for visual arts goes to Isabella Laverty. Let's have another round of applause for our well-deserving group of academic prize recipients. We now turn to our school prizes. NJC students are involved in many activities at the school. We recognize this dedication to the school beyond the classroom through our school prizes. I invite our head of school, Andrew Keleher, forward to speak about our new Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead award.
Alors que la promotion de 1975 de NJC approchait de son 50e anniversaire, ses membres ont cherché un moyen d'honorer leur amitié, leur esprit d'équipe de leur époque à NJC. La bourse Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead est leur héritage. J'ai eu le plaisir de travailler avec ce groupe pendant 4 ans pour concrétiser ce projet Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead. L'objectif de ce programme est de favoriser le développement de futurs leaders. Jusqu'à 2 000 $ canadiens sont disponibles chaque année pour des projets approuvés et soutenus par l'école afin de promouvoir le changement positif, la connexion et la communauté. Et maintenant, 50 ans plus tard, la promotion de 2025 est la première à recevoir cette bourse. 2 groupes ont été sélectionnés et ils nous ont présenté chacun leur projet. La Ligue des champions, une série de compétitions par équipe, ainsi que le concert auquel nous avons assisté hier soir ici au Temple du Bas. Ayant travaillé en étroite collaboration avec ce groupe de musiciens, je peux affirmer sans réserve que les gagnants de cette année du prix Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead sont entièrement méritants. As the NJC class of 1975 approached their 50th anniversary, they looked for a way to honor their friendships, their class, and the spirit of their time here at NJC. The Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead grant project is their legacy. I had the pleasure of working with this group for 4 years to bring Dare to Dream to fruition. The purpose of the program is to nurture the development of future leaders. Up to $10,000 Canadian is available annually for approved projects supported by the school to foster positive change, connection, and community. And now, 50 years later, the class of 2025 is the first class to be awarded the grant. There were 2 groups selected, both with their culminating activities this week. The League of Champions was a series of team competitions, and of course we had last night's concert band performance here at Temple du Bas. Having worked closely with the band group, I can attest unabashedly that this year's recipients of the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead award are both entirely deserving.
The winners of this year's Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead award are Bella Laverty and Julia Dempster. Bravo indeed. To present the Foyer Council Award, I ask Mr. John Marchioni, this year's Foyer Council Supervisor, to come forward.
All right, hey everyone. So the Foyer Council, it has played a vital role at NJC this year, continuing a long-standing tradition at Neuchâtel Junior College. Their diligence in planning, organizing, and leading various events has played an integral part in building up our NJC school spirit. From the indie travel boards and the Nintendo tournaments at Mario Kart, all the way to the barbecue, the students of Foyer Council have put in an immense effort and work to design and build events that we have all enjoyed and looked forward to. Thank you to all the members of the Foyer Council for all your hard work. We're better all for it. Amongst an equally deserving group, I am delighted to announce that the recipient of the 2025 Foyer Council recognition is Ella Steenberg.
John, I'm going to ask you to come back up again. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. The prize for drama this year goes to Julia Dempster. The prize for business leadership goes to Julia Dempster. And the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead award goes to Julia Dempster. Okay, to present the athletic awards, I now ask Mr. Carl Krejci to come up.
Is this thing on? Yeah, okay. Can I get a sports?
This is the way. For the Female Athletic Award, it was a difficult decision to select just one winner. The student has consistently attended our Thursday afternoon gym sessions and has demonstrated strong leadership in all of our activities. She participated in the badminton tournament as well as many other events. Most notably, she has been actively running throughout the year and delivered an outstanding performance at the BCN Tour. Whenever I was on a run, I would always see this student around as well. And this year's Female Athletic Award winner is Marianne Chen. Now, our Male Athletic Award winner has been a key contributor to almost every NJC sports activity throughout the year. He played an important role on several teams, including badminton, ultimate frisbee, and cross country. He also led the outdoor club and participated in numerous hikes across Switzerland. Most impressively, he completed the Geneva Marathon with an exceptional performance. This year's Male Athletic Award goes to Matteo Spears.
Congratulations to our athletes. To present the Model United Nations Award, please welcome Mrs. Patricia Cleve, our MUN Staff Supervisor.
Okay, Model United Nations is a long-standing tradition at Neuchâtel Junior College, and this year we were privileged to send student delegates to conferences in Scotland and the Netherlands. The outstanding delegate at both conferences brought a wealth of experience to his role, representing Malta on the Security Council in Leiden and Denmark on the Security Council in Edinburgh. During all the preparatory work we did leading up to these conferences, he provided guidance and advice to his fellow delegates and could always be relied on to get a lively debate going in our practice sessions. So, of course, this year's Model United Nations Award goes to Matteo Spears.
To present the YWA Award, I would like to call upon Ms. Kahina Kordash.
This is the second year we have run our Youth Wellbeing Ambassadors Group. This year's members did a great job enhancing the students' well-being and raising awareness around youth mental health. While all members of the YWA collaborated beautifully on amazing initiatives, and many of them, one student stood out as a leader. The winner of this year's Youth Wellbeing Ambassadors Award is Taylor Feather.
At this time, we would like to present another musical interlude. Please welcome Bella Laverty performing The Climb by Miley Cyrus.
Me? Yeah. I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments I'm gonna remember most, yeah. Just gotta keep going, and I gotta stay strong. Just keep moving on. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
Thank you, Bella. At this time, I would like to call upon our head of school, Andrew Keleher, to give his head of school address.
Good day, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Special guests, membres du Conseil de Fondation et du Comité canadien, faculty and staff, family and friends, les familles d'accueil, NJC alumni, and graduates now. Today, we have reached a decisive moment in time. We assembled to celebrate a remarkable group of people, to congratulate a class that last September boarded a plane out of Canada, embarked on a winding bus ride through the Swiss Alps, then took every train at their disposal to continue a grand adventure. Yes, we gather to say farewell to a bold, talented, and totally immersed graduating class, the class of 2025. I'll begin by acknowledging the class of 25 legacy gift. The class of 25 identified priorities for giving back as a class in the form of tuition scholarships and travel bursaries. I would like to thank committee co-chairs Jennifer and Tom Cumming, along with Diana Bristow and Sherry Bonaldo, for their work on the campaign. And I am pleased to announce today that because of your generosity, we have reached our goal in raising a grand total of $100,000 with 83% of families contributing, along with several staff and board members too. That is an amazing result for a small school like ours, so thank you very much. J'aimerais m'adresser maintenant aux familles d'accueil. Notre école continue à honorer la vision de notre fondateur, M. Leonard Wild, qui consiste à offrir aux étudiants une année en Europe pour étudier et aussi la possibilité de vivre dans une famille suisse, pour comprendre la culture et s'exercer à parler en français. Cette relation est primordiale pour enrichir l'expérience des élèves. Je voudrais donc remercier toutes les familles d'accueil. Fiorentini, Ramsbacher, Rohr, Gonsalves, Girardin, Descoudres, Mutabazi, Basilico, Tornator et beaucoup d'autres qui traitent nos étudiants comme les leurs, les prenant en charge en s'en occupant si bien pendant leur séjour. Alors merci beaucoup, famille d'accueil. I turn now to our guests of honor, the class of 2025. Today's a great victory. I don't know any other way to say it. That's just the way it is. It's as simple as I can put it. However, as these things go, convention dictates that I have to elaborate, so here goes nothing. You have reached an apex of a life of schooling. It's not the end, but you have made it to the top of the Eiger with the monk and the Jungfrau yet to come. To invoke Kipling, you have kept your head and trusted yourself. You have dreamt. You have met triumph and maybe some disaster too. You have walked with crowds and kept your virtue. And you have certainly filled the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Switzerland has taken you far beyond her borders to all kinds of other lands. And you have done it all in true fellowship with one another. When the Spartans were in battle, they held their shields in such a way to defend half of oneself and half of the soldier to their left. You have displayed this same kind of interdependence. You have relied on each other. But who exactly is this indomitable class of 2025? Let us spend some time on that question, shall we? Starting with Jill Robinson, our valedictorian, a leader, a friend, and a new aunt this year. Her father and sister both attended NJC. Jill asks questions like, what else is out there, and what else am I capable of? She knows that both questions remain rhetorical until you actually try something and find out for yourself. For Jill, a skier, fear and challenge are parts of life, and she is undauntedly going to choose the ungroomed terrain. One of Jill's roommates is Marianne Chen, who can appropriately be described as always chipper. Neuchâtel is a beautiful place to live, but it's not without its cloudy days. Marianne, though, has an endowed cheerfulness that brightens a gloomy sky. And let's think of some friends who can't be with us today, like Isabella and Annika, les filles de Fiorentini, Ryerson and Xavier. I think the school got a little quieter after they left. Charlotte, the artist, and Grace, who loved her connections with classmates and always said hello. Stella made us aware of important aspects of mental wellness. Cameron started off the year as a human fountain, then strummed his way to our hearts on the guitar. while Leah White, the F1 superfan, might have made more noise than those F1 engines. Class of 25 days, a happy day, one of those unforgettable days, really. On the one hand, can you believe it is finally here? On the other hand, where on earth did the time go? Time, I've been thinking a lot about the value of time and how it can be applied to your year here at NJC. Do we focus on our regrets, what we missed out on, or do we cherish the time allotted without compunction? Shakespeare calls time a thief that comes stealing on by night and day. He advised us to make use of time and let not advantage slip. As I look out upon you today, I wish time would slow down just a bit and give us a few more moments together. But as author Mel Robbins put it in her 2024 book, Let Them, that's the cruel fact about time. It's going to keep passing whether we slow down or not. The time you have with each other at NJC is like a melting ice cube. 1 minute it's here, and the next is gone. And the truth is that we cannot stop the ice cube from melting, so we have to make the most of the time we have with the people we want to be with. But time flies when you're having fun, people. And many of you took time to explore Switzerland and everything she offers. I think of Ben Gerd from Vancouver, who joined hockey and rugby clubs in Neuchâtel. He wanted everyone else to get out and hike the Alps, so he and Matteo Spears started the Outdoors Club. Ben is a quiet leader, like Steve Eiserman, who wants the best for his classmates. Matteo took the Outdoors Club and ran with it, as Mr. Krejci said, all the way to the Geneva Marathon. Matteo is a thinker. He's a writer. And his favorite moment this year was an impromptu belly slide down a ski slope during a weekend hike with the club. How else did you care for your common home? Well, this year, Switzerland hosted the Eurovision Song Contest. NJC was there, baby. Lauren Odorico, Juliette LaForest, and Nadia Cesana, sipping on espresso macchiatos, were in Basel cheering on the defending champs with outfits made of Canadian hockey tape. Carl Lenvi, Spencer Scott, and Bryn Cole. These guys move fast. Blink and you miss them. Cars, skis, planes, feet, they simply feel the need for speed. The only thing that slows them down is maybe when Bryn stops to chug a liter of milk. Or Carl takes time to visit his family in Hamburg. Spencer, of course, parlayed his speed into an Oscar-winning performance in Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run! Kaesla Hill from Toronto spent time with her sister in London and spent the weekend in a Swiss chalet with her pension. Time has a way of standing still when you're in nature, enjoying one another's company, doesn't it? It wasn't enough for Lily Moffat to go to Zermatt. No, she had to paraglide through the Alps in a prime example of time moving way too fast for my liking. But time can play tricks on us too. It can skew our memories in a way that makes us perceive the past more positively than it actually was. It's called the nostalgia effect. Now, don't get me wrong, those good old days were some fun times. But for as much as you heard me prattle on about back in my day, it's a bit of nonsense, people. We were all together at the Acropolis when we heard the news that we lost Pope Francis. In his 2025 autobiography entitled Hope, Francis said that to try to stop time is a fool's errand. To paint a rosy picture of the whole complexity of the past as opposed to the present is a historical mirage. In other words, nostalgia ain't all that, and the best days are still to come. It's important to keep our traditions, yes, but as the great romantic composer Gustav Mahler said, tradition is not the worship of ashes, it is the preservation of fire. There are those of you who know that the best wine has yet to be served. Samantha Thorburn. No nonsense. She doesn't bow to the pressure, nor does she remain fixed to one thought like a wooden stake in the ground. Sam is more like bamboo that sways in the storm, giving into the wind of emotions when necessary, but then returning to its original form. So cool under pressure is Sam that she even finds time to give out pre-graduation manicures. Masha DeMeo, Maeve Murphy, and Taylor Denton are back with us today, and together they evoke the three elements of a good story. The introduction, when we were all meeting each other last fall, the conflict that we all felt when you had to leave, and the resolution of them returning today to the point of origin. And while on the topic of stories, Bodie Johnson and Travis Cumming are like, wait for it, but you're not far off. Bodie Johnson and Travis Cumming are like two characters in another short story, where workers in a quarry are smashing rocks under the hot sun. Most of them are pretty discouraged and stalling to do the work. When asked what they're doing, they reply, breaking rocks. When asked the same question, Bodie and Travis say, we're helping to build a house. It's all about purpose for them, even if Travis is wearing his Crocs to break the rocks and Bodie his jorts. Lily Miller, Lil Mill. Lily's trip to Morocco helped her to appreciate a new type of gratitude she never knew she had before, opening her eyes to what is truly important and not worrying about things like how much data she has left on her phone. Edmontonian James Simmy is off to Australia next year, and he'll be riding the wave of an Oilers Stanley Cup. James had a moving experience in Normandy at the Canadian War Cemetery, where he visited the gravesite of his great uncle. His mother, Janine, an NJC alumna herself, felt it too. This is what NJC does. Taylor Feather took me back in time to my own university days when she set up a euchre tournament at school. But she made it far more exciting than I remember. There was loud cheering and reactions and commotion, definitely a Canadian spin on the game. Time. What is happening in our times right now? These days have us confronting issues like diversity, equity, and inclusion, the effects of racism, colonialism, and hate speech, the progress of AI, the continued marginalization of the global South. Who we are and what we stand for has always been important, but in 2025 it seems to strike a more pronounced chord. We require strong leadership, vision, and preparation to help guide us in difficult times. Leadership took on a new role at NJC this year, thanks to the class of 1975, as we heard, celebrating their 50-year reunion, who developed the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead grant program. Last night, we saw the fruits of that 4-year labor at our graduation concert. I know that Bella Laverty and Julia Dempster would not say it was easy. Nothing worth doing well ever is. But it was a year-long labor of love. It was about the music. It brought us all together, and it solidified a beautiful friendship. And it was fun. But Bella and Julia knew that to pull off something as magical as last night, you need a strong, mission-ready team. And like the Argonauts of Greek mythology, the Dare to Dreamers became an irresistible force at NJC, and each with their unique talents. Méhanne Jolicoeur avec la fierté québécoise. She is gifted on the piano and unflappable everywhere. And based on all the coffee she drinks, she's awake 24/7. Marlowe Ashby, also from Montreal. Marlowe is a creator. When he's not crowd surfing in Leiden or cursing a blue streak in the middle of Le Romarin, he's using drone technology, editing a video, and always lending a hand. And he's a snappy dresser, too. Every business plan needs an accountant, and Max de la Lana was the one who kept the books. Max started the investment club and the movie club, and he even got everyone out to the beach close to Neuchâtel. Funny, why is it when Max organizes a beach day, everyone makes it back to the ferry on time, but when I'm trying to get you all back from the beach in Greece, everyone misses the ferry? Maddie Cook Little studies long hours and closes the school on most nights. Now her dreams are taking her to Ireland, and nothing's going to keep her down. After all, she broke her wrist in Zermatt and kept skiing. The melodic voice of Jordan Vetro was on display as she rang out the sound of silence at the end of the semester. You could have sworn she was Orpheus, steering the Argonauts clear of the sinister charms of the sirens. Speaking of mythology, a myth is not the same as an account. Myth is a way of knowing the truth, for reaching the truth. It is timeless because it's linked to human nature. Myth questions us, it stimulates us, it digs deep, whereas an account is more like a construction of a story. For example, Andrew Logish's account of a broken sign in front of the Turkish restaurant, Place Puri, was one of poor luck, an accident, 1,000,000 to 1 shot, Mr. Keleher. The restaurant's proprietor, on the other hand, had a starkly different account of that incident. In truth, one of my favorite photos of the year is all of you in front of the St. Andrew's Cathedral in Amalfi, with Andrew's arms outstretched in a true account of friendship. There are those who can handle time, and there are those who must manage time. Oh yes, time management is one of those pesky bugaboos we all have to write about in our annual personal goals, people. But some of you really did manage your time in ways that proved productive. By putting away the phone and taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. I mean, even I take time to run every day. It's just that, as Larissa reminds me, I take more time to eat. Ella Steenberg makes time for the gym every day. And in her spare time, she organized the prom. Side note, Ella, I want it on the record here today of 2 occasions when we will see each other in the future as per your request. I'm not sure what was in that cup of coffee, Miss Steenberg, you had at the coffee house. But it was there where you, A, emphatically invited me to your wedding, and B, informed me that you would be very excited to sing at my funeral. In all seriousness, Ella eats right. She enjoys life, and she makes everyone she speaks to feel like they are the only person in the room. I think they're going to name that gym the Kai Ramic Meditation Center of Neuchâtel. Kai stays healthy by doing a daily circuit which affords him the mental space to do his schoolwork, including his acting. Hazel Tingley practices yoga. She runs, she walks, and if she really wants to let her hair down, she enjoys a cold Coke Zero. These are good habits that help her approach life with a smiling enthusiasm. Time is what you have to grow relationships, which are directly proportional to the quality time that you put into them. Emma Morgado fell in love with Switzerland, and she's been falling all over Europe since day one. She is an open book, talking about her family, Portugal, and her super friends. And those friends are always close by. Miranda Rigney is the straight shooter who is the star of A Perfect View, but avoided my camera whenever possible. Nicole Artemyeva is a person of profound humility. That virtue which, when you have it, you don't think that you do. Ellie Gundy, the winter flower, who has a dog named Stanley in honor of those Oilers. Such a good friend. We said goodbye to Jordana, as Ms. Persaud said, Jordana Singer last week. But for as much as Miranda avoided my camera, Jordana was always asking me to share my photos so she could have keepsakes of the friends she loves. Victoria Payne took more time than most on the Gridley trip because she had to navigate it on crutches. She made it to Pisa to see the Leaning Tower, a site that's on the bucket list of every physics enthusiast. Eve Demetriou was so affirming to friends. That might not seem like much, might seem like a little thing, but when the chips are down, if you have an Eve in your pocket, you are lucky. Kate Brady and Maggie McCallum, inseparable. They learned a lot about each other and about themselves. Kate with her penchant for salt and vinegar chips, and dreadfully heavy luggage, I might add. And Maggie wearing her sunglasses at night in Zermatt like she was Corey Hart. Growing up requires that you think what you feel and do, that you feel what you think and do, and that you do what you feel and think. We all have to take time to learn new things. Education is the most exciting challenge in life. So, what new things did you take the time to learn about this year? Well, we all learned from Joshua Udall about nightshades. I love that Joshua came to all the restaurants prepared for the question with a Post-it note that explained it. Schwa is a listener, a collaborator, and played some net for the local hockey team. I think the Leafs could have used him. I know I learned a lot about all kinds of student gossip from Celeste Sabal, who redefines the expression TMI. But it's because Celeste is unapologetically honest. I know the Zabal sisters are all here tonight, so we'll batten down the hatches later tonight, girls. Violet Barato Bristow taught us about fashion with 2 killer jackets, the Green Maple Leafs and the M&Ms. Violet learned about the Large Hadron Collider on a field trip to CERN and realizes all too well about the temporal nature of the universe. Holden Kopman was hooked on a feeling from the very beginning, and he taught us all about holding on to our dreams when he joined the Foyer Council. And we learned that Katja Stedek, another member of the Foyer Council, stops at nothing to bring us activities like Assassins and the Senior Sunrise. Katja doesn't just sit there and stay stuck. She does something about it, and she makes things happen. Ava Bonaldo, camera in hand, learned about the rich history of Europe by attending events like the Remembrance Day ceremony at Vimy Ridge. She had a flair for the dramatic in Red Rum Retreat, and when she scrubbed out that damn spot as Lady Macbeth. Ryan Mitchell, the last of the Mitchells. When I met Ryan for the first time years ago, she was just a little kid. Look at her now, a young adult. We learned from Ryan that maybe it's possible to turn back time to keep this Calgary family at NJC just a little longer. Like that weekend each October, Ryan turned back the clock to give us a little more time together, even if it meant the days started to fade a little faster. Class of 2025, our time together is indeed fading. In a few short hours, you will be out of Neuchâtel. In a few short weeks, you will be in universities across Canada, the US, the UK, and Australia. You have to be prepared for what comes your way, and not just in the courses. For the injustice that's out there, the bigotry, division, polarization, inequality, discrimination. No one wants it or asks for it, but you are going to come up against it. And it's best to be prepared. So when it comes your way, the bringer should find you at home. You all have the strength of character to not tolerate it. I know Hani Loeth does. You know how there are people you just want to hear from? Somehow, some way they make everyone feel uplifted? Hani has that aptitude. She has so much energy. It's impossible not to feel it. She takes the time to get to know you. Hani is what my mother would call a good egg. And Ben Young. Of course, we all remember his strikingly handsome Halloween costume. Ben received a Dare to Dream grant, and his team created the League of Champions. He felt like he hit the jackpot this year with the relationships that he developed with everyone. And with the way he approaches life, Ben makes me think of that expression, how you do anything is how you do everything. Class of 25, a day like today is never a solo accomplishment. All along the way, you've had support from parents and teachers, as we've heard, kind of this Suzuki triangle. In fact, when I was 18, my father sat down with me and helped me decide between my two university choices. It was a short conversation, not one that I ever thought mattered, but it did matter. Parents give us all kinds of unsolicited advice, and there's a lot of it that we children listen to without acknowledging. But it means a lot. So, first, to all you dads out there, happy Father's Day on Sunday. And to everyone, all you parents, I know that today's a special day for you. And not only am I glad that you are here to celebrate it, but I am honored and touched that you sent your children to NJC this year. I've read through reflections, journal entries, and I've even had good old-fashioned conversations with your children. Please believe me when I tell you, they are grateful for the opportunity you have provided for them. I know some of you are alumni, and I can only hope that the class of 25 enjoyed their time here as much as you did. And to the faculty and staff, I offer you my sincerest appreciation. You do so much more than teach. You travel with students, you run clubs, you offer support when students need a breather or a listener. These are the ties that bind. And each year we have members of staff and faculty that leave us too. We said goodbye to Mr. Ian Esquivel last semester. We continue to wish him well back in Toronto. He's watching today. Behind the scenes back in Canada, our stalwart managing director of operations, Megan Watt, is exiting NJC after 4 years in our Canadian office. NJC would not be the same without Megan. For whose counsel and collaboration I am extremely grateful. Kahina Kordash was our math and biology teacher who traveled with students to Morocco. Miss Kordash is from Nîmes in France, but she's an honorary Canadian. Even if, when I let her know that she shares a birthday with Wayne Gretzky, her response was, "Who's Wayne Gretzky?" But she also sat front row center for the school photo of the 60th anniversary of the Canadian flag back on February 15th, and yesterday offered you all heartfelt praise at our final assembly. Class of 2025. Father Time comes for us all, and he is undefeated. Athletes retire in their 30s. Your close colleague moves on to a new position in a new town. The Kentucky Derby champion gallops away to the stud farm. Time marches on for you as well, folks. This is the end of high school. It's time to move on to a new place. And because parting is such sweet sorrow, I choose to think of the times that bring me joy, and a knowing smile comes across my face. So, go on out there and change the great earth into gold. No matter where you find yourself, do your best and give your all right here and now. Don't wait around for life to come to you. Even if your courses don't suit you next year, make the work your own and resist the urge that's so prevalent nowadays to say that everything's boring. Fall in love with reading. Advocate for those less fortunate. Speak up against unethical practices, even if it means challenging authority. Disconnect to reconnect. You're not a robot, and you don't have to engage with every single thought you have. Breathe, relax, let it pass. Surround yourself with friends who value you and who uplift you. A Brazilian poet once said that life, my friends, is the art of encounter, even when there is so much discord, and I know that you have all had precious encounters this year. And in time, I hope we have a chance to meet again. Maybe in Neuchâtel, maybe in Canada. Until then, I look forward to following your careers with great interest. I wish you all a long and happy life, a fulfilling one with blessings of all kinds. You have given us the time of our lives this year. You are all beautiful human beings, and you are loved. Félicitations and congratulations to the class of 2025.
Thank you, Andrew. It is now time to acknowledge a few more remarkable students from the class of 25 with the presentation of our special awards. I would like to call upon Ms. Patty Klebe and Ms. Sandra Gaucher, NJC's business manager, to present our first special award, the class of 2020 award.
Le prix 2020 est présenté aux 3 étudiantes ou aux étudiants qui démontrent une grande capacité de résilience, de camaraderie et d'optimisme. Les gagnants-gagnantes font preuve de force et de créativité face à l'adversité, se préoccupent de leur entourage et dégagent de l'espoir.
The Class of 2020 Award is presented to 3 students chosen by their peers who demonstrate ongoing resilience, camaraderie, and optimism. The recipients will have responded with strength and creativity to adversity, exhibited genuine care about others around them, and maintained a hopeful attitude with bonus points for maintaining a sense of humor. This year's recipients will have their names placed on a plaque displayed in the pavilion.
The first winner of the Class of 2020 award is Jordan Betro. The next winner of the Class of 2020 award is Lauren Odorico. And the final recipient of the Class of 2020 award is Joshua Udeville. I would now like to invite Mr. Karel Krejci to present the François Dupaquier Award.
Bonjour, hi. Madame Françoise Dupaquier a reçu chez elle des étudiants et étudiantes du Junior College de 1956 à 1979. Elle est décédée à l'âge de 97 ans, le 27 juillet 2009, et Madame Dupaquier était convaincue que son devoir en tant qu'hôtesse était de s'assurer que ses pensionnaires apprennent à parler couramment le français. En 2011, ses anciens pensionnaires ont instauré ce prix en son honneur. Il est attribué chaque année à un étudiant ou à une étudiante extrêmement motivé à apprendre le français et qui s'améliore de manière remarquable. Miss Françoise Dupaquier hosted NJC students in her home from 1956 until 1979. She passed away age 97 on July 27, 2009. Madame Dupaquier believed it was her responsibility to ensure that all her guests learned to speak French well. In 2011, the students who were hosted by her established this award in her honor. It is presented annually to the graduating student who strives to learn the French language and makes great progress during their time at NJC. This year's winner is someone really deserving, and I would like to invite Emma Morgado to receive the award.
It is now my honor to present the Governor General's Academic Medal. Established in 1873, the Governor General's Academic Medal recognizes the graduating student at each high school who achieved the highest average over the course of their grade 11 and grade 12 school years in Canada. On behalf of the Office of the Governor General, Her Excellency Mary Simon, it gives me great pleasure to present this award to Jill Robinson. I would now like to call upon Mr. Keleher to present the Principal's Academic Award. The Principal's Academic Award is presented to the student who has attained the highest academic standing in their year at NJC. We had so many academically accomplished students here this year. And at the top, the Principal's Academic Award goes to Mateo Spears. I now ask our Conseil President, Ms. Bryn McCrossan-Maire, and the Chair of our CAC, Kelley McKinnon, to come forward to present the Marcel Jeanneret Award. Previously named the President's Award, I asked Sandra Gauchat to come forward to talk about the award's new namesake.
Le prix Jeanneret. Président du Conseil de Fondation suisse du Neuchâtel Junior College, M. Marcel Jeanneret a offert bénévolement d'innombrables heures au service du NJC, veillant à garantir une expérience authentique à la fois suisse et internationale pour les élèves et à renforcer les relations entre le Canada et la Suisse. À une époque de croissance importante et de construction dans les environs immédiats de l'école, il a soutenu les efforts visant à protéger les bâtiments scolaires contre l'empiètement du développement immobilier et a contribué à coordonner la construction du centre d'études du campus. Il a assisté à une multitude de réunions du Conseil, de comités et d'événements scolaires et a toujours accueilli les nouveaux élèves et leurs familles à Neuchâtel avec grâce, chaleur et enthousiasme. Aussi fier qu'il fut de la Suisse, M. Jeanneret aimait profondément le Canada et ses vastes espaces. Ayant voyagé dans presque toutes les provinces canadiennes, il était un véritable ambassadeur des deux pays. Ancien directeur du lycée Jean Piaget, l'école de commerce, il était un éducateur passionné qui a marqué la vie de nombreux élèves et considérait à juste titre son établissement comme le berceau du NJC. Le junior collège était alors une section de l'école de commerce jusque dans les années 1960, avant de s'installer à son emplacement actuel. M. Jeanneret croyait fermement au développement du programme d'aide financière afin de permettre à davantage d'élèves qui n'en avaient pas les moyens de fréquenter l'école.
President of the Swiss Conseil de Fondation of Neuchâtel Junior College, Monsieur Marcel Jeanneret volunteered countless hours in support of NJC, ensuring an authentic Swiss and international student experience and establishing strong Swiss-Canadian relationship. At a time of significant growth and construction in the immediate vicinity of the school, he supported efforts to safeguard the school building from development encroachment and helped coordinate the construction of the student center. He attended a multitude of board meetings, committee meetings, and school functions, and he was always ready to welcome new students and their families to Neuchâtel with grace, warmth, and enthusiasm. As proud as Monsieur Jeanneret was of Switzerland, he loved Canada and all of its space. Having traveled to nearly every Canadian province, he was a true ambassador of both countries. As former director of the Lycée Jean Piaget, École de Commerce, he was a passionate educator impacting the lives of so many students, and he rightly considered his school as the birthplace of NJC. The junior college was then a section of the École de Commerce until the 1960s, before moving to its current location. Monsieur Jeanneret was a great believer in building the financial assistance program to allow more students to attend the school who could not afford to otherwise. The newly named Marcel Jeanneret Award is presented to students who have contributed to and embraced NJC's mission at an exceptional level. That is, they have made an impact on school spirit and participated considerably in school programming. This year, the first recipient of the Marcel Jeanneret Award is Marlowe Ashby. The second recipient is Violet Barado Bristow. I now call upon Mr. Keleher to present the recipient of the 2025 Leonard Wild Award. Selected by classmates, faculty, and staff, the Leonard Wild Award is NJC's highest honor. It is presented to the member of the graduating class who best embodies and reflects the values and spirit of Neuchâtel Junior College and who reflects the academic and international objectives set down by the school's founder, Leonard T. Wild. This year's recipient participated extensively in school events, including being an active member of the NJC Band and a founding member of NJC's Outdoors Club. He extended this participation outside of the school to the Neuchâtel community with a local hockey team and rugby league. This student contributed significantly to the general welfare of his fellow students, as well as the betterment of the school. More than once, he came to my office concerned about the well-being of another student, using his incredible emotional intelligence to understand his peers. This student used his NJC experience to learn about and embrace the culture, language, and people of Switzerland and Europe. He developed a relationship with his pension mother that can be described as reciprocal, appreciating her Swiss and immigrant background. In essence, the Leonard Wild Award acknowledges the student who best reflects the spirit of Neuchâtel Junior College. This year's recipient is Benjamin Gerd. Let's have one more round of applause for all of our special award recipients. Our final musical performer today is Méhanne Jolicoeur, who will be performing Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy.
Thank you, Méhanne. Merci beaucoup. Très bien fait. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our class valedictorian, a young woman who epitomizes the NJC experience. A year ago, like so many of you, she was a bit trepidatious in coming to Neuchâtel. It was a whole new world, after all. But came she did, and she thrived. She is a top academic student with a friendly disposition, and someone we have all the time in the world for. A recipient of the Queen's University Chancellor's Scholarship, one of a mere 50 recipients, we are extremely proud of her. The valedictorian is selected by fellow students, faculty, and staff as someone who best represents the ideals of the graduating class. In addition to being selected a valedictorian, the valedictorian will receive the Valedictorian Award, and her name is etched on a plaque that adorns the foyer building of NJC. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this year's class of 2025 valedictorian from Barrie, Ontario, Jill Robinson.
Good afternoon, parents, staff, pension families, and the esteemed guests of the hour, the graduating class of 2025. Thank you for all coming together today in celebration of such a talented group of individuals. I am truly honored to have the opportunity to be speaking with you on this special occasion. Before anything else, I'd like to take a moment to thank all the people who have supported us and made this journey possible. To our parents, over there, thank you for being our biggest cheerleaders from day one, for being there from us across time zones, and for inspiring us with the courage to pursue our own paths. We may have been far from home, but we were never without your support, and for that, we are endlessly grateful. To our teachers and our wonderful staff here at NJC, thank you for not only being our mentors, but our travel guides across our many trips. You became more than just teachers, but also friends. And as students, we could always feel your genuine care and passion towards helping us succeed and be successful in both the classroom and in life. Bear with me for this next part here. Et enfants à nos pensions. De la part de la classe de 2025, je vous remercie de nous avoir ouvert vos portes et votre cœur cette année. La vie en pension contribue grandement à rendre notre expérience ici, à Neuchâtel, enrichissante et unique. Les dîners ensemble, les soirées jeux de société, en passant par les excursions et les moments de rire, chaque élève et chaque famille ont créé des précieux souvenirs tout au long de l'année. Je suis très reconnaissant pour mon expérience en pension pendant mon séjour ici, et je sais que, grâce à votre générosité et votre gentillesse, nous nous sentirons toujours chez nous en Suisse. Well, everyone, congratulations, we did it. Can you believe that this day is finally here? We're all here today as a result of a decision that we made many, many months ago now, at a time when coming to Switzerland seemed like a far-off dream, and well, graduation, an even further one. Meeting at the airport and that first bus ride to Grindelwald feels like an entirely different lifetime ago. So many new names and faces, the blank slate of a whole 10 months ahead. I'll be honest, I was really nervous those first couple days, and I felt totally, as one might say, out of my comfort zone. That feeling of uncertainty and facing the unknown, moving across the world away from our homes, our families, our friends, and all that we'd come to know in our lives thus far. But this feeling of uncertainty, well, this is the beginnings of growth. Coming here, each and every one of us made a decision to step outside of our lives and routines at home and embrace this feeling of being just a little bit uncomfortable. We all know the motto here at NJC is step outside. But as the year progressed, those words became more than just letters on a brochure. Stepping outside became a way of life, a challenge to chase, an invitation to grow. We faced the unfamiliar, and in doing so, we grew as individuals, discovering new versions of ourselves, braver, kinder, more curious, more open individuals. An especially moving example took place here just last night with the members of the Dare to Dream grant when they put on a truly amazing show. Thank you for sharing with us your voices and your instruments and reminding us once more what it means to courageously step outside. And really, that's what this year has been all about. Moments like these which have shaped the people that we become. Maybe you became friends with someone this year you never thought that you'd be friends with. Maybe you chose a class in need of a credit that was outside of your typical field of study, but actually ended up loving it. Maybe in Zermatt, you skied a new line that challenged you, but you came out victorious. Maybe you skied for the first time. I could go on and on with examples, but you get the point. And speaking of stepping outside, there is literally no better proof than the Outdoors Club. From the early morning SPB rides to the many lunches with the most scenic views, and even trekking through feet of snow and then penguin sliding all the way down, we were reminded of how, like life, it is truly about the journey and not the destination. Graduation today is all about celebrating how far we have come as individuals and as a class since that first day, reflecting on the year and recognizing milestones both big and small. Our time here has been full of firsts, like living in someone else's home, planning trips and navigating through new countries, and for some, nearly getting stranded on a Greek island after missing the ferry. Nothing better demonstrates resourcefulness and problem solving in each person's own way than in that moment. The year has also been one of lasts. Our last dinner as a school in Normandy just a few weeks ago, our last high school classes, and our last few months between childhood and the rest of our lives. Oh, and thank God the last time I have to climb those stairs up from Romarin. Kidding, but not really. I'm sure that by now we all know what a special and unique opportunity this past year abroad has been. It's taught us so much about the importance of independence, community, and having the confidence to truly step outside. It wasn't always easy. Late nights spent studying in the foyer, the epidemic of canceled trams and buses for first period, and of course, the dreaded word in the fall, university applications. But we pushed on, side by side with the same determination and poise expected of any NJC student who has come before. We made it through the initial wave of homesickness in September, and the following one in June when we realized we were now leaving our second homes for good. We learned and thrived in a city that, coming into, many of us didn't speak its first language. Maybe we thrived in this new city a little too well because, including myself, many became far too familiar with the insides of the co-op outside the train station. We made memories to last a lifetime on our trips and stories that we'll be sharing with our own kids in 30 years, maybe leaving out some details for the parents. For those of us who traveled to Morocco over the holidays, I know we'll never forget Christmas Eve 2024 when we stayed in an abandoned hotel. Santa Claus didn't come that year, but instead we were visited by a mysterious hooded figure apporting a traditional Moroccan jalaba going by the name of the Christmas Lady. Funnily enough, Sandra was nowhere to be seen that night. Or in Zermatt, where we as a class took après-ski to a whole nother level at Henustal. I mean, it's not every day you get to dance in ski boots with your friends, your parents, and your principal. On our indie trips, we demonstrated our independence as the young adults we were becoming. I'm not sure how many students can go from partying on a beach in Barcelona to writing a calc exam the next day, but I hear it's something NJC kids call work-life balance. While we may not remember how to find the equation of a line, how to calculate a substance's molar solubility, or the causes of the Peloponnesian War, we will never forget the life lessons we've acquired from this year abroad. I will always cherish the feelings that came from being a part of this school, this family, like the music that flowed from the foyer building or the buzz in the air on End-Day Friday. Or was that buzzing just Marlowe's drone? Anywho, the friendships we've built over the last 10 months are lifelong, and from the highest of highs to the low lows, in my case, having the van in Morocco pull over due to windy roads, we've stood beside each other through it all. As we each prepare to go our separate ways, reminiscing on times spent together with packed bags and a heart full of goodbyes, we continue to carry with us this motto of stepping outside. From the moment you each accepted your offer to come here, to getting off the plane at the Zurich airport, we demonstrated the endless possibilities that are unveiled when one steps outside of their comfort zone. Whatever the next few months or even years look like for you, I urge upon you this one intention. Have the courage to continue stepping outside. And as you do so, carry with you such curiosity and dedication towards life that we have learned this year and hold on to it tight. Be proud of how far you've come over the last 10 months, the person you've grown to be, and both the physical and metaphorical mountains that you've summited during your time here in Switzerland. I know I'm proud of each and every one of you. And I felt truly honored to be part of such a tight-knit group and the many adventures we've shared together. Wherever life takes you next, know that a piece of this place and all of us will always be carried within you. Congratulations to the class of 2025, and thank you for making this year truly unforgettable.
Thank you, Jill. Before our final announcements, we would like to present a year-end video of NJC memories compiled by Mr. Marlowe Ashby.
This is really awkward. It's fine. It's okay.
We're rocking a hard place, he's battery control. What am I waiting for? If we plan to believe my compass, my transport.
Holy crap, that was depressing. All right, let's pick this up.
I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. 'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Never thought we'd get old. Maybe we're still young. Maybe you always look back and think it was better than it was. Maybe these are the moments. Maybe I've been missing what it's about. Been scared of the future, thinking about the past while missing out on now. We've come so far. I guess I'm proud, and I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I got some scars. I've been around. I felt some pain. I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Those good old days.
You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone.
Wow, Marlowe, that was amazing. While this concludes the formal presentations of our ceremony, I would like to let you know a little bit more about the remainder of the day. Parents, as you exit the building, NJC staff will have an insert for your program, which includes the names of all of our award recipients and donors. Each student will already have 2 copies of this insert in their envelope, but please feel free to take one for your own memories. Once we leave here, we will make our way to l'Hôtel de Pérou by walking up the Rue de l'Hôpital. You can follow the crowd for this 5-minute walk. Over there, grads will gather for a photograph and have the celebratory toss of their caps, after which they will need to return their gowns to a staff member. Finally, some thank yous. First, to the staff of Temple du Bas, especially Monsieur Guerrero, our technician. Au personnel de Temple du Bas, merci beaucoup pour notre assistance. À notre pianiste Karen Chiu et notre chanteuse Clara Ricosa, merci beaucoup. Thank you also to our student musicians who did an incredible job today. Our final thanks to Diego Corti, Larissa Keleher, Sandra Gauchat, and Geraldine Gagnaban, our NJC staff, for all of the work they did to make this day run smoothly. Merci beaucoup. Now, here we are at the end of our ceremony. I told myself I wasn't going to cry. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you to the class of 2025. You've shown me what it means to rise to the occasion, and you are a special group of students. I know you'll do well this next year in university and beyond. As Jill said, continue to step outside. Let's hear one last round of applause for the class of 2025.
Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're here alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie. You sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were scared of getting old and made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears. Nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swear you moved overseas. That's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie. You still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old and made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. When we were young, when we were young, when we were young, when we were young. It's hard to admit that everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And a part of me keeps holding on just in case it hasn't gone, 'cause I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we